Okay.
Oh, we're just starting. I love it. So exciting. Hello everyone. Welcome to this. Another rankings. The jury has begun. Draft day's been completed. And honestly, I am kind of in such a mind fuck about where the game stands. I, I no longer, thank God, thank God, I'm no longer feeling like people are playing like shit. It feels like people have finally gotten their bearings and we have a really exciting game on our hands. With that said, I have like no actual idea of like what the path forward in this game is going to be. It was sides and it still is sides, but like both sides were like kind of imploding on each other with how this last vote went. And I think the bonds that existed between the sides, some of them are now stronger and some of them are broke. Like the whole, for the first time since we've been hosting, honestly, I really feel like I do not have a good grasp as to what the hell is going on. Oh, good. My internet connection is unstable. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, I heard everything.
Okay, very fun. Well, yeah, we're gonna dive in. We're gonna talk about things as best we can. I did a fun exercise of my own doing this morning because I had off from work today, and I uh was trying to like piece together like, okay, what is everyone's like list of like trust rankings? And then I averaged out like where everyone ranked because again, we're at the final 10 now. And I was like, oh, who stands up against each other in terms of like being in a good position or not? I do think all of that like flew out the window in the last like 6 hours um since I've done that. But we'll also be interested to talk about my findings and who's maybe
Sure.
doing better than I thought or worse. So anyway, shall we dive in?
Yeah. Can I ask semantically? This is rankings week 6.
No, so that's what I was gonna ask.
Where does
This is
where does
probably rankings.
where does
This is
draft day live?
probably, I think draft day is probably its own week, which would make this ranking 6, 7.
Okay, that's fine with me.
All right, everyone, welcome to ranking 6, 7.
Week
Um,
6. 6S.
uh, I hate it here. Okay.
Or we could just group draft day with another week. 6, 7.
Nope. We've committed this as rankings week 6, 7.
Okay.
So we're gonna commit to
Well, that's what
that
we get when
bit.
we hold the rankings in the middle of a week.
And it gave glorious content. Now we have ranking 6, 7. Why are you upset?
Nobody is upset here. Besides me, because we're starting with a duel.
Oh, okay. Abdul, who last week had a 5 from both of us. Okay. Um, okay. Sure. Um, I I don't even know what to say about any of these people. I'm so confused. That's Brent. I'm so confused as to what is going on? Who is anyone? I don't even know how to talk about Abdul. So Abdul, I guess right now in the game, has had his side of Karina, Gabby, Zion, and Johnny. And for him, of the people on his side, he probably benefited most from Johnny going. So that's a benefit. A negative, though, is the fact that Sarah thinks he's the stupidest player ever. Um, so there's that. Um, I in balancing out my in my rankings of like who trusts who, I actually found that on average he ranked higher than most people. Which I actually found interesting. Um, of the 11 people in the game, he ranked fourth in terms of like average placement for people. So interesting, interesting to see. Um, I feel as though yeah, I really have I have no like thoughts in my brain. I'm gonna give Abdul a five again. His side just lost to Johnny. I don't feel as though I can go up. But people were talking, I mean, everyone's talking to everyone about their vote. I don't think Johnny going was necessarily awful for him of all the bad things that could happen. And if this power is going to swing back and forth, but no, but his side is, I don't know. His side's ready to cut him. Like, I think Karina is ready to cut him. Julia doesn't trust him at all. He was the backup. I don't know. I don't know. Um, no, let me follow. I don't know. You give your thoughts. I'm at a five or a four, I guess, but maybe a six. Keep going.
Right, right. I'm at a five. Also, is it possible for you to move rooms? I can like barely understand you sometimes.
Fine, I can't see or hear anything you're saying.
I said, can you
Can
move
you hear me?
rooms? Can you move
Oh, oh,
rooms?
oh, oh. Yeah, I can. Yeah, let me do that. Oh, that's so annoying.
Well, we'll just be
The
fast.
things I do for you people. Did you
Or you,
hear any of my thing about Abdul?
yeah, I was gonna say, or you could just continue to ramble on and we won't hear you, which is also fine with me.
Oh no, did we hear? Okay, here's
I
what I had to say about Abdul.
I
I
heard
don't know how to
I
feel.
heard what you said. You kind of just cut in and out, but I heard you and I understood you.
Yeah, I just
Um,
have no thoughts.
I'm gonna go with a five. I'm at kind of at the same place because here's the thing. I think that as numbers start to dwindle, Abdul's like not like super flashy gameplay could become an asset for him as the numbers quickly go down. Um, so I think that I don't think he's playing like super poorly. I also don't think like he's playing as hard as some of these other people. So we'll see where that gets him. But I feel comfortable at five.
I am also gonna stay at a five. No, I'm not. I'm gonna go down to a four. Um, I and I think it is for that reason that you said. He, for me, on this season, now they're in the jury phase, I really am. I'm not quite taking win equity into account yet. We're still decently like there's a lot of game left to play. However, my gut tells me that this jury is going to be a jury that like wants to reward a player that's really seen as a player. This doesn't feel like the jury that's going to reward someone that's been like quiet and behind the scenes. It's going to be someone that people have been talking about as a player. Down this list that Cooper, Gabby, Johnny, Julia, Karina, Rod, Sarah, Zion. I'm not really seeing it from Bill right now because I think he is playing safe. He's not, I don't think he's playing active enough. Um,
Yeah, this jury is
I think
definitely going to reward Johnny.
okay, you know, um, but like, I just don't think people are talking about him as a real player in this game. They're talking about him as a number, but I don't know what Abdul is doing himself. And that's kind of why I'm going to go down to a four this week.
Totally fair. Okay, let's move on to Andre.
I'm not mad at Andre's spot.
Where
He's
was that? Is that
really,
a four?
um, no, I think let me double check. I think I was, might have been at the four. Um, season 18 rankings, week five. Um, yes, last week I was at a four, you were at a five.
Okay.
Um, I'm not mad at his spot at all. Last week when I gave the four, I said it was purely kind of because I feel like he had a bad HOH, or not a bad HOH, but not a great HOH in an Eli home. I think he realized what the right move was a little too late, and then he couldn't execute it and whatever. However, since then, um, draft day went pretty spectacularly for him. And I think this week went really well for him, where he was able to kind of take a step back, didn't really push for anything, but his ideal target in Johnny went home without his name being attached to being this crazy swing vote in the middle type thing. I'm not mad at his position. I will certainly be rating my score. I'm going to go up to a five. Um, I don't think he's quite in six territory yet because I don't see his win equity there yet. I think he's still kind of looked upon as like a type of player. Um, but there certainly is wiggle room. I could see this number rising. I could also see it flopping if he goes home, and we'll see which one it is. But right now, it's a five for me.
Cool. I'm gonna stay at my five, I think. Um, this is gonna be an interesting rest of the season for Andre because I'm wondering if people will like still have that taste in their mouth of he has kind of been he was unsure in the beginning of the game. He was kind of flip-floppy. He wasn't very committed. Now he's starting to change that perception a little bit, and I'm interested to see where the perception lands as the season comes to an end if he's still like in the final however much. Um
If people were curious, uh, out of my rankings, he ranked seventh out of 11 in terms of how ingratiated in the house he is, which is notably
what
lower than Abdul. But I think he's doing better than Abdul, so we'll see.
right. Um so yeah, I'm interested to see. I It's going to be interesting. I think for right now we still have the two sides intact. I feel like he could be here to stay from that side. So that's what I have to say. Let's move on to Cooper.
Cooper. Okay. Cooper is a character.
To say the
I simultaneously, I've on such a journey with Cooper. I love Cooper so much, and I'm equally ready to see him go. Um, I looking at the field. Johnny going this week, honestly phenomenal for him after he was associated with the move of trying to take a shot at him and it didn't work. And he got into a tiff with Johnny. And now also with Johnny leaving that side, I think people like Karina and Zion and Abdul don't have a choice than to work with him. In addition, his current side, I think, is pretty locked in with him. And he does this weird thing. I think he is everyone kind of sees him as like this crash out character that's always going to do what's best for him. And he kind of makes it clear that that's the case. But at the same time, he's always going to talk to people about what he's doing. He's never lying about what he's doing anymore. And is constantly blaming other people and it's working and it's good. So
like I'm kind of here for it, but
I'm kind of here for it, but it's messy and it's not great. But I live and it's working. So I will be staying at my green score. I don't think I can make the argument to go up to a seven because again, in my gut, I couldn't say that he's playing well, but and if you get a seven from me, then you're playing well. However, I think positionally, too many people actively need him and can't target him or put him up for me to say that he doesn't deserve at least a six. So I'm gonna stay at my six.
I think I'm gonna go down to a five. I think that I mean what's tough is that there are things said about him every week, and it doesn't seem to really be affecting his position. But you have people who are seriously talking about the things he's saying as damaging to the game. And I think Gabby, as long as she's here, she is going to continue to push for him to leave. And I think that sentiment of it being personal is going to start spreading more. Um, so not necessarily a five based on position, more five based on events of the week. Um, But we'll see. One thing about me this week is I love giving out fives, apparently. EJ, that
Do
is
you
going
still
to
love giving out fives?
take.
Um, EJ, I mean, like I have been at a two for him for 2 weeks straight. EJ, congratulations. I'm moving you up to a three.
Why?
Um, because I don't think at this point anyone will put him up.
Yeah, I'm gonna
And
get a three too.
um, but again, like to be clear, like I just think he has literally no semblance of who no one is prioritizing him. Like I really think at this point that he has a really good shot of being the losing finalist. I see him in that role more than anyone else on this cast right now, especially now that rest in peace, Laura Menendez is gone. I think Andre is not that position anymore. I think he's too good at comps and is too ingratiated with the side. Like EJ, and I'm shocked to be saying this about EJ, and it makes me sad, but like has just lost the plot as a player for me right now, and everyone sees it. And it's just a game of like who can convince EJ that they're the majority and that he should do what they want, and then not give a shit about him. Like he's like a scapegoat for it. Like I don't know. It's just a three. He's not in a good spot, and I don't think that he's the type of player, respectfully to EJ, based off of what I've seen, that is gonna like actively take steps to get himself out of that spot. So
Hmm.
the three.
Yeah, I'm at a three too. I don't have much more to say on EJ, but um, I know I'm kind of sad. Um, it seems like he is really the only person without someone, and I feel like anybody he thinks he's close with is much closer to other people. So,
On that note, EJ ranked 11th for me out of everyone. Cooper ranked sixth, I think. Cooper was smack dab in the middle. Yeah.
hooray, Gabby.
Gabby. Okay. I I mean, obviously this week wasn't like great for Gabby. We can't like ignore the fact that like she almost went home and was the target. So like of course that's not good. However, at this point, if I'm being honest, I'm not gonna like tank anyone's score for being the target because at this point, for the most part, like everyone is being targeted by someone, with the exception of honestly Zion. And good for him. But even then, I think Andre is targeting him. So like everyone lands on the block by someone's hand. So I'm not gonna like tank Gabby's score because of that. The reality is she stayed 7-1. And that's because if you look at her relationships, they are still pretty good, I think. This season is really interesting where you can look at a chat and you can see people talk a lot of shit about someone. Not personally, but like game wise. Like they can't be trusted, XYZ. It happens a lot to Julia, um, or as I should call her, Julia. Um, oops. Um, uh, And like it happens a lot to Julia, it happens a lot to Cooper, and it happens a lot to Gabby. They're honestly the three people that I've seen it happen to most in terms of like not being able to trust them. Karina's kind of in that mix as well. Um, but like 50% of people I think don't really mean it and are doing it to appease the people in the chat. And the other 50% of people, like, what are they going to do about it? And that's kind of how I feel about Gabby. A lot of people like talk about like, oh, Gabby's not trustworthy, Gabby's doing the most. But like, who's gonna vote out Gabby or go for Gabby? I don't know the answer to that. I think I was down at the three last week, question mark. Um, Let me see.
Yeah,
I can
I
just keep
think I was at the
flipping.
4. Yeah.
Um, yeah, last week I was at the 3. It feels maybe a little counterintuitive because she was on the block as the target, but think I'm I think Johnny going here is actually probably pretty good for her because I think people were looking at them as a duo. It frees her up. Her relationship with Julia is good. Her relationship with Karina and Zion is good. Her relationship with Abdul is good. And I think she's gonna be able to work some magic because she's a very proactive player, which is what it takes to win this game. So I'm gonna raise my score only to a 4 because she was on the block as the target, yada yada yada. But like I'm hoping that this could be in the same way that like Zion going up, I think really minimizes threat level. Like I'm hoping that like Gabby going up here kind of like minimizes her threat level, even though again, just like Zion, she stayed 7-1. So I'm gonna go up to a 4.
I think I have to go down to a 3. I think she was pretty darn close to going home. Like, I don't think there was a time where she was ever like, okay, if there was votes right now, it would be Gabby. But it was pretty close to flipping. I mean, it was damn near a tie for a very long time. And then Zion and Karina were basically deciding. So I don't feel like it can be above a 3 right now for that. But I I think Gabby is my one of my favorites here right now. And she's gonna say that I was rooting for her downfall this week. That is not true, Gabby. I'm putting it on the record. One
I
day
will also
before
put it
we
on the
spoke,
record.
I was not rooting for your or Johnny's get downfall this week,
In
but
fact, Stephen did actually tell me how sad he was that this was
I was
happening.
very sad after I left your call with Johnny. After you were after you lost the veto. Um, let the record be known. I am rooting for you, Gabby, but I simply cannot. I have to give you a 3 this week for you and your closest ally being on the block. Yes, Johnny going like does free her up, but is still like her closest ally going home. So
That's fair.
but
I will say, and this is no shade to Johnny, of the two of them, and Steve, like we talked about this, but like I'm as sad as I am to see Johnny go, and this can kind of transition us into talking about Johnny, but like as sad as to see Johnny go, I think that Johnny fell into a pattern of how he talked to people, and like we kind of saw what we were gonna get.
mhm.
I think Gabby has a
I think
lot
Gabby has
more
more to give.
rope to move around and navigate this game, has a better idea and better relationships at the other side, and it's going to be able to navigate more. So, of the two, although I am very sad to see Johnny go, I am happy that Gabby is still here and we get to see more of Gabby.
Right.
Moving on to Johnny. Um, Johnny got. He
Yeah.
got. And it is unfortunately due to his own actions on a Rod HOH too. I feel as though he just got caught playing, and I won't harp on it too much because that's what we've been saying in the rankings all this time, where I just feel he was really bad at lying, really bad at lying, um, consistently about votes, about intentions, about sides, about how plans were going on, and people saw through it. Even this week, when it was coming down to it, Johnny was like talking with Rod, talking to Julia, was like, guys, if you use the veto on me, if you keep me, like, I'm protecting you. Like, I am protecting you. You're safe with me. We'll work together. And Julia was like, okay, so if you win HOH, who would you put up? And Johnny was like, oh, I really don't know. And it's like, okay, well, if you don't know, then we're not working together. Like, if you're not telling me names, like it's just not checking out. Um, so yeah. With that said, he did put up a really good campaign. He did have people fight, and um, there was a world where he could have stayed. So I'm most certainly not at a one, but this is classic two, uh,
territory.
two territory for me. So it will be a two.
It would be a two for me as well. I really enjoyed having Johnny play this season. I think his head was in the game. Um, he definitely bounced back a little bit after having a pretty rough first HOH reign. Um, so I'm definitely glad he was here. Um, excited to have him as mayor of the jury.
I think he will make a
Uh,
good mayor of jury.
I would really love for Cooper to be evicted next so they could be in the jury house together and alone.
Would be so funny.
Um, thank you. Yeah. Wow. Okay. He had a six last week? No, that cannot be right. Oh,
No,
he
he
had
had a
a
four
four.
last week.
Finished straight up. Okay. Julia.
Okay. I again, Julie's been on a roller coaster this season, and I'm currently on a peak of the roller coaster because I really, I, I really resonate with how Julia plays the game. Like, I just think she's a good game player. Taking it out of this season for just a minute, the way that she navigates the game of like thinking about how to jump onto votes, how to convince people of things, how to talk to people. She is just good at that. So when I say Julia Moss is good at being a big brother, that's what I mean. She was like talking with Cooper and she was trying to be like, Cooper, like if like Gabby doesn't know if you're like really on board to keep her or not. So if like whether or not you are on board, if we see that the votes are going there, convince her that you were always super on board for this and have been pushing for it. And Cooper was like, yeah, but I think Gabby like knows that I was like always going for Johnny. And Julia's like, I'm telling you she didn't. So fix that. And Cooper like didn't seem to like get that. And like Julia does. So that is always going to be points in her favor for me. This season, have there been moments where her reads are absolutely shit? Absolutely. Well, yes. Currently, I think she's been okay. The biggest issue is I think she's getting a little annoyed with her side, specifically Sarah. And I see her slowly but surely starting to inch back towards people like Gabby and Zion and Karina, who just quite frankly do not have her best interest in mind. Um, with that said, I think that Karina and Zion would be absolute idiots to take a shot at Julia right now before they do people like Rod and Sarah and Andre. Um, whether or not that'll happen, I don't know because one, Karina Anthony has loved acting not in her best interest this season, but we'll see. I was at a five last week for Julia. You were at a six, and I was like, I really want to give the six. This week I will be solidly giving her a six. I think her position has increased. Johnny going home was good. And if everyone is acting in their best interest, she should be pretty good. I don't know if everyone will act in their best interest, but I can't control that. So for me, it's a six. And I would love for it to be a seven, but I think too many people are talking about her being a threat for me to be at a seven.
Yes. I was at the six. I think I'm gonna stay at the six as well. I was honestly considering going down to a five, but I think I'm gonna stay. Here's why. She ultimately, from what I could understand, was the reason Rod did not use the veto this week to take Johnny off the block to ensure that Gabby went home, from my understanding.
Mm-hmm. I think that's a correct
She,
understanding.
from my understanding, she promised her vote to Rod that she would evict Gabby if Rod did not use the veto. I think she is concerned now because she basically just lied to him. Um, and she knows it was messy. So now not only does she have
You're so
people,
right.
I think I'm going to go down to a five now that I'm
I
talking.
think, fuck.
Now, not only does she have the other side coming after her because she's a big threat, but there's also mistrust among her own side. So Johnny going, this is why I'm stuck. Johnny's going was good for her, and she basically made it happen. But to make it happen, she had to basically like she was put in a very tough spot, I think.
Yeah, yes, it was a tough spot, but I just don't think she should have gone as hard. You're so right. You are so correct. And this comes part newsflash for everyone. I just heard a new job that is meaning like I'm like not looking at my phone nearly as often, and thus like don't have the full extent of what's going on. I kind of forgot this whole thing happened, but yeah, Steven, you're so correct.
I was also trying to read up on just like what generally else happened today. But
Um, but you are right that Julia convinced Rod not to use the veto. That like it was her. That people like know it was her, and it was like that happened under the guise of Julia would vote to evict Gabby, but then she didn't. And this also came right after DRs from Rod being like, remember when Julia like promised Ava that she'd use the veto on her and then didn't? And then promised Matthew that she'd use the veto on him and then didn't? And then tried to like get me to throw the veto to her in the double. Like, no way in hell. And now this has happened. Like, oh, you're right. You're right. Like it should be a four. But I'm gonna say it. I'm not gonna jump the gun because I did start by giving her a six. But I think you're right. This, in terms of her actual gameplay this week, it wasn't it.
cool.
Should it be a four?
I'm gonna stay at five.
I'm gonna stay at five only because it was Johnny that went home and Gabby still in the game, which is phenomenal for her.
And also like she is playing well. That
Hmm.
just kind of was like a she was put in a tough spot there and she kind of had to just deal with the tough spot. So Karina,
This girl is driving me up a wall. And it wasn't for anything that she did this week. Let me be clear. That's just a general statement about Karina, who I absolutely adore. Um, oh, I want to be like Karina's biggest cheerleader, but I'm not because I think she's constantly getting in her own way and doing too much. Um, I think I have to stay at my four. She was supposed to go up on the block. Um, and I just think that it's like seen as like a key figure, and I don't think that's disappeared. Um, but with that said, or actually, and with that said, she's another one that like people on her side, like Gabby and Abdul, have like, oh yeah, like it's gonna take an um. So yeah, I'm gonna stay at my four. I definitely have no reason to go down to a three. I definitely have no reason to go up to a five. So it will just be a four for me, I think.
trying to decide.
Like Johnny going home for her was bad. I don't think her position is the worst, but I definitely don't think that Sarah or Rod or Andre are really working with her. She has a good grasp on EJ. I think Cooper's talking to her pretty significantly. It is a toss up. Like it, and she is playing actively and well. You know what? No, I can't go up to a five on the pure fact that Johnny went home. It's not good for her.
Yeah, but someone was gonna go home this week from her side. So it's like, yes, I understand. I think the fact that she would have been the replacement nominee, but she probably wasn't gonna go home is like speaking to me a little more. I think for what I think I have coming, I want to go up to a five. Um, I'm gonna give a five for Karina. I mean, to be frank, I think we are like we're steering low for rankings this season.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You
Um,
know what? I think you're right. Like, yeah, because four does feel like, yeah. I mean, I think you're just convincing me to match you, and I think I am going to go up to it. But like,
eh,
I don't even know. Should I stay at a four?
I think this is gonna
Um,
be a four.
no, I'm gonna stick to my gut. I'm gonna stay at a four. I'm hoping it goes out. Um, Exciting things to come for the world of Karina. We'll see what she does in this next week, whatever that may mean. Um, who knows? But I'm hoping that she's able to do things that set herself up well.
As
And
HOH.
actually, well, Stephen, spoiler. Um, I I'm very 50-50 with Karina. Because for me, like if she is able to use this HOH, Karina, actually speak if you're not Karina, you can not listen to this next part. Karina, this is just for you. If you're able to use this next HOH, spoiler, this next HOH as what are you doing to Laura's what's happening?
Like, what are you talking
Um, Karina, if you're able to use this HOH to just simply put up Rod and EJ, or sorry, not Rod and EJ, Rod and Andre. What are you doing? Can we stop? Can we stop this?
what are you talking about?
Why is the slide changing?
The slide is not changing.
It is, and I don't like making gas on it.
At least as far
Um,
as the screen share goes, the slide is not changing.
um, Jesus Christ. Um, the um, if Karina's able to just like do that and get Rod out or Andre out, she can't get Sarah out. Spoiler. Um, I unfortunately think that there's a world where like she tries to target Julia instead, which like really is probably not smart for her right now, in my opinion. Um, because I don't think Julia targets her, and right now Karina needs people that aren't going to target her. So if it's a backdoor, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it unfolds. But like Karina, I think is at the point of the game where she does have the ability to finally like make me be like, yay, Team Karina again. And right now in my gut, I just don't trust her. Anyway, that's what I have to say.
Cool. We are ranking Laura again because this is week 6 and 7 rankings, and we didn't rank her since she was evicted. So we are going to give her the fair treatment that we give everybody and rank her after she's evicted.
All
I'm
right,
giving her a
Stephen,
one.
what is okay, great. New awesome. Love you, Laura. Um, yeah, I just like draft day happened. He went up and then she went home. And unfortunately for me, it's like the fact that she didn't even like realize the fact that like she like didn't play well, like really feeling her fate for me. Laura, I love you. I cannot wait to come visit you in Boston, but you will get the first ever zero given out on the PBS. And that's what we get for ranking you again. I was happy to just let I want it on the record. I would have liked your one to just stand, but since we're here, it's a zero.
Change it back to a one. Change it back to a one.
Change it back. It was never a one in the first place.
There's there's no zero. Change it back.
Why is it not a zero?
Change it back.
Fine. Fine. You want me to change it? You want me to change it? Fine. Fine. I'll change. Fine. Fine. Fine.
Okay, Scott's being petty
Can we
about
move on?
something. I just gave her a one average, so there we go. Um,
All right. Moving on to fine. Fine. Hmm.
the fuck that color is. Just fucking change it.
There you go. There you go. Okay.
That could have taken 5 seconds, and you just made it take so much longer than that.
Yeah. Rod. Um, he's been given such a shit hand. Um, he's like I have nothing bad to say about him. It's just half the house is really with him and half the house is really not. He was HOH, he made a good move. And for that I applaud him. But I don't think I can go to a six because I think that over half the house really would primarily target him because he's also now really good at comps and he's come out of the woodwork and kind of won the last few, it feels like. An HOH and a veto. He just won the veto in the double. He was just HOH during draft day. Like he's now a very notable player. I'm hoping this week that he's going to be able to slip under the radar. However, I think he's probably going to go up as what should be the target for Arena. Spoiler. Um, but I'm certainly not going down this week because he made a good move. But I don't think I can get to a green score. Yeah, we are like crazily low this season, but I feel like I have to give him a five. It didn't go his way this week.
Yeah,
If
I'm giving
Gappy went
five.
home,
I'm
I
giving
would have
five.
given him a six, but
Um, yeah, I mean, he didn't get his way. I mean, he did take out someone who was against him, but not what he wanted. Not, very publicly, not what he wanted. Um, and now people are coming after him because they think he's a challenge threat, which I don't agree with. But woo, so many fives this week. Sarah, can I just say? Can I just say? Potentially one of the biggest and most unnecessary crash outs I think I've ever seen. Like, actually crazy. My internet connection is unstable. My internet connection is unstable. Everyone heard me though because I am recording. So, um, I was saying, Scott, for that you missed it. I said probably one of the biggest
I got it a little bit.
and most unreasonable crash outs in BBSS history.
Yeah, no, this wasn't great. I was very nice when I gave you a six last week. What happened? What happened? Um, she like should have been totally fine with either of these knobs going.
She literally called it like, oh, the worst case scenario is happening again. Your number one ally is HOH, and two people who you are not working with are on the block,
And
and
you're
one of them will be.
splitting up literally. Um, yeah, I feel as though like I kind of want to go down to a four.
Oh, I think I was going to. I'm sorry. I was thinking about it.
Yeah, like I think I have to. Like I don't want to, but I feel like she kind of burned a lot of the bridges that she had set up for herself. A, Johnny's gone, which she made out to be far worse than it is. So now Gabby's really against her. She kind of crashed out on Rod and is not
She
thrilled with
crashed out on her
Julia.
whole alliance.
And yeah, literally there. But then also crashed out on Abdul. Yeah, it has to be a four. I promise I'm not trying to be a downer. I'm looking at these scores and they've never once been good.
Yeah, I'm giving a four too. Um, and it's so funny because this did not need to be a four at all. Like she would have gotten a higher score if she sat and did nothing today. So don't do that again, Sarah. I know you're going to.
How is Cooper the highest score? I don't know what's going on anymore. Like I actually for the first time, normally I'm really proud of my
I'm
reads
speechless.
and
I'm
my
speechless.
insightful gameplay on what's happening. Okay, who gives a shit? I don't know what's going on, guys. What the fuck? Anyway, Zion.
Mhm.
For these last 2 weeks, I've been resting at a 7-4. Um, I do in my gut, like I'm not saying that like Zion is winning the game. Like we're not at that point where we can accurately predict that. In my gut, he is the person that I still feel best about his chances of winning, and that has not changed for me. The fact that Johnny went home was not good for him. If Gabby left, he would have been, I think, in like I would have given him an 8 if Gabby left because he would have like completely locked Karina, Johnny, and Abdul with him individually. He would have had Cooper. It would have locked Julia in with him. I think it gains a lot of favor with Rod. Like if Gabby went home here, Zion, I really think locks it up. Johnny went home here, and he's still in a fine position, but it's definitely not as locked up, and it gives other people, honestly, like Gabby, more wiggle room. So I've been at a 7. I'm gonna come down only to a 6. He's still in a pretty solid position. I don't see anyone targeting him. People have accurately clocked the fact that he's in the middle, and people have kind of talked about it in their diary rooms. However, that is quickly then followed up with, yeah, but I can't do anything about it. Or, yeah, but I don't care. Yeah, but I need him for now. And then they don't talk about it with anyone. So I'm ultimately not that concerned, but it's going to be a 6 for me.
I'm gonna stay at my six. I cannot believe, first of all, that what is it? Like he is the only person so far to be above a six in 7 weeks. He is the only person to average above a six, which is fucking crazy. But like that's just where we're at right now. I wouldn't even
Yeah, I don't even
say
know.
I wouldn't even say like the gameplay is so poor across the board and that's why people are low. I just think it's
That
competitive.
was only it for the first 4.5 weeks.
Yeah, I just think it's competitive. Um, and therefore people are targeting the correct people, and therefore no one is too high. Um, I don't even know. I want to give someone a seven. Let me give someone a seven. Someone do something that is seven worthy,
I
please.
want to give someone an 8. We've given out 8s in week 1 before.
I
Paige
know
Madison got a week 1 8.
she did
Yeah, actually kind of crazy
in
choice for
season
us
11.
for a season 11. I think she's the highest week 1 score ever, which like, okay, work, Paige
Two.
Madison.
When
She was just good, I guess. I don't know.
when Ari Aquino went home, we gave out an eight. Okay, great.
Yeah, this is that week. Guys, I don't know what's going on. This season is on crack. This season is so cracked out. And to be clear, in a fantastic way. I'm having a really good time. I'm really excited to see where it goes. But my God, this season is cracked out because I have no faith that anyone's going to do anything that's actually good for them. And that's kind of fun.
Oh,
Um, like everyone is like one step away from just crashing out on their closest ally, as Sarah showed us today. I do think that Zion and Karina probably have this game on lock, but not on lock at all. Anyway, those are my thoughts.
don't agree. I mean, the other side is just so crazy. Like you have the other side of the house headed by Sarah and Andre and Rod and Cooper. That's what this is what we're up against now. Uh,
And Julia is also there. Like it's
and Julia's like, get me out of here.
this season is crazy.
Like,
Like what the fuck?
I gave out six fives tonight out of 12. Pretty much out of 11. Or it doesn't even count. Uh
I gave out a 10 and the first zero.
on the same person.
Oh, I didn't know if it was still there.
Just do that. That could be your ranking. You could do that. You know,
I abstain.
your ranking.
I abstain. Um, yeah. Okay, well, I
Get working on those BB comics.
Jesus Christ. I was on such good track and then unfortunately the eviction took up the whole night. So now
And then we said, let's be really quick on rankings. And has it been an hour yet? I think it's been an hour. Did you freeze or are you just giving me a look? I think you froze. Okay. All right, everyone. Well, I have no internet connection. Everything has stopped working.
being recorded. Steven,
So I'm going to end the recording and thank you for watching, everybody. Unless we're back. I think we're back. But I'm going to leave. So bye.
end it.